This semester, our volunteer site was the Jackson County Public Health Center. We all decided to do it at the Cullowhee Community Garden. So, I hope you guys enjoy our presentation. Thank you.
The Cullowhee Community Garden is a donation-based garden that grows produce without the use of synthetic pesticides or fertilizers. No money is required to adopt plots. Instead, gardeners trade their excitement, sweat, labor, knowledge, and time for garden space. Half of the produce grown in each plot is donated to help feed people in need in Jackson County. This garden is a project of the Jackson County Department of Public Health with the help of NC Cooperative Extension, WCU Service Learning Department, Jackson County Psychological Services, and the Community Table of Silva, and Jackson County government. Volunteers are always welcome and needed. Volunteer days are Wednesdays from 4 p.m. until dark and Saturdays 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
What we did at the Cullowhee Community Garden was mainly garden maintenance. This semester we focused a lot on clearing areas for new plots, which required us to remove any kind of debris, dead plants, and any harmful substances that could reduce plant growth. For the first time since the beginning of the semester, the garden and all its plots have been adopted and are currently on a wait list.
Volunteering in the community garden made me realize how much gardens can help the community in so many ways. The garden not only provides healthy, affordable produce for members of the community, but it also fosters a sense of community and helps the environment. Growing and buying food locally when possible has already been an important practice for me. In Asheville, this is fairly easy to do with farmers markets everywhere and stores that carry a large selection of local products. In some places, access to local food and healthy options in general is more problematic. One thing I would like to work on in practicing nutrition is food access in smaller communities. Community gardens are a great way to address food access and educate people on healthy eating and sustainable agriculture. Growing your own food and buying from local farmers is often cheaper and is a good way to ensure that you know where your food comes from and how the workers and the land were treated in the growing process.
Hello. Volunteering at the garden was a new experience for me. At first, I didn't think I would like it at all. I don't necessarily have a passion for things as such, but I ended up enjoying it. It allowed me to appreciate the people who are constantly working in it a lot more. I think that this is an experience that everyone should try to get involved with, or at least come out and see and support what it does. In my short time here, I was actually able to grow, taste, and also maintain things in the garden. There's a big difference in fresh produce straight out of the soil and produce that comes from the store after being there for a few days. It has now become a habit for me to try to go to fresh local food and farmers markets rather than the grocery store. One thing I would like to improve in this community in particular is to bring awareness to the people about the garden so that it may continue to expand. The current director has really nice ideas for the future, such as having a kitchen and also putting a kids part to it. I learned that it is not that hard to start a garden, even if it's fairly small. You can do it. I enjoyed my time here a lot, even though I didn't think I would like it. But I really enjoyed it. I look forward to getting into some new things in the near future, and I hope that the garden continues to grow.
My time volunteering at the garden has really meant a lot to me. It's taught me about hard work. It's taught me about myself. It's also made me realize what gardening means to me and the benefits that come with gardening. while while volunteering at the garden, I have allowed to interact with people from the community. I've got to see what the garden means to them and why essentially they have a garden. It also makes me want a garden one day and to volunteer with local community gardens. It's great for the community. It gets people outside. It gets them to interact with other people from the community. It saves money and allows them to eat fresh produce, which is awesome. I am an advocate for community gardens now, and I hope to maybe have my own plot one day. And if I don't have a plot, then I will definitely have a garden of my own, and I will volunteer there at a community garden wherever I go. I'm very thankful for this opportunity.
My experience at the Cullowhee Community Garden has been truly awesome. The first time I volunteered, I didn't know what to expect, and I thought I'd be there for the entire Saturday from 9 to 12. Prior to this time, I never had any true experiences with gardening, but when I was given my first task to complete as a volunteer, I absolutely loved it. The overall botanical and nutritional knowledge that Adam has shared over the 2 semesters has been very insightful. Adam, as well as the other volunteers, have made volunteering at the community garden a blast with the humor, friendly encounters, and the want to build the community around them. I look forward to volunteering even more when I am available within the near future. The picture that you see on the right is me holding river cane bamboo. It's not as useful as traditional bamboo, but certainly matches the strength of traditional bamboo. This is a small piece of it, but it was very hard to remove from the ground.
So for our project for the community garden, we decided to raise awareness for the community garden and try to get more people to volunteer there in hopes that they would like to become more involved in community gardens, not only here, but also maybe in their hometowns or for later on, to show the importance of what the community garden can do for people in the community.
Community gardens provide a wide array of benefits, including food access. Community gardens provide access to fresh, traditional produce and nutritionally rich foods in low-income neighborhoods, where nutritious food is particularly difficult to access than in other areas. Community gardens are also beneficial for the environment. Food in the United States travels an average of 1,300 miles from farm to fork, changes hands half a dozen times, and consumes 10 calories of fossil fuel energy to produce a single calorie of supermarket food. Producing food locally greatly reduces the greenhouse gas emissions related to food transportation. Fruits and vegetables sold in supermarkets spend as many as 7 to 14 days in transit. During this time, almost 50% of the transported food is lost to spoilage. Locally grown food reduces or eliminates this transit time, helping to greatly reduce food waste.
Also, some other benefits of community gardens are municipal. They have been shown to increase property values in the immediate vicinity where they are located. Health benefits. People who garden tend to eat more fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. Also, exposure to green space reduces stress and increases a sense of wellness and belonging. This also includes community building. The community garden programs provide employment, education, entrepreneurship opportunities for a wide variety of people, including students, recent immigrants, and also homeless people. Exercise is also a benefit of the gardens. It allows for moderate to heavy intensity physical activity and has been linked to significant beneficial changes in total cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, and systolic blood pressure.
In order to spread more awareness for the Cullowhee Community Garden, it can be done vocally and visually. Vocally, through the word of mouth, we can tell our friends, our family members, our peers, and even faculty and staff of the awesome experience we've had working at the community garden, hopefully influencing them to join us. Visually, we can once again, as we've done for our initial project, set up another booth and as well as a display board and some flyers and some stickers that recognize the activities as well as the volunteer hours and the directions to the garden, either on campus or at outside of a local restaurant in downtown Soap.
During this experience, there was really only one challenge that we faced, and that was the weather. It's because, like, if it was raining or if it was cold, it just didn't make it enjoyable to go to the garden. And if it was raining, then there was no way that we could even volunteer at the garden. So that prevented us from going to the garden. I would say that the experience was similar than what we expected, because since we worked with Adam last semester, we kind of knew what to expect. Like, we knew we'd be killing weeds, and we knew that we would be pulling up plants and using new tools. But I think the one thing that we didn't expect that was different for us was when we would have those new tasks when we would go, and he would have to show us how to do a new task. But everything was very similar with each other. If we were to do the project over again, we would better prepare for this event and find a more interactive way to get people to want to come to the garden. We would also have better communication amongst one another. It is very beneficial that we not wait until the last minute to start things, so that way we don't get rushed and thrown together. But besides that, everything went fairly smooth, and that's the only thing we would do different.
Altogether, we came to a conclusion that community gardens are beneficial for communities and community members in many ways, including overall health and food access, environmental sustainability, and community building. Thank you guys for listening to our presentation. I hope you enjoyed.